The use of decal surfaces is a simple way to increase the realism of your scenes. We can pass from this aspect to this another one, just adding simple planes with the appropriate texture maps. Using them, we can add details to the streets and the buildings in one single step, just placing the planes over the area we want to modify. This method is very useful, allowing us to change dramatically the aspect of our projects in a very quick and easy way. This pack provides a collection of planes with special textures designed to increase the realism of your iClone street scenes. The first group of decals included in the pack provide simulations of broken elements of concrete, stone, or glass, as well as cracks that can be placed on the floors or over the building walls. The second group has a big variety of dirty and decaying elements. Using them, you can add patches of dust, mud, moss or different types of soil that can be scattered over your sidewalks and streets. This group also provides decals to create a decaying aspect on the walls, although they can be used as well on the floor. The third group provides several types of drains, usually intended to be placed in the sidewalks or in the street edges, in order to drain the water from the rain. There are two groups of holes on the ground. The first one pictures the holes being dry and filled with soil. Then, the same holes are provided but filled with water. The pack has 5 different water options for each hole, so you can combine several of them, matching the color of the water inside. The sixth group of decals includes a variety of garbage and debris elements. Using them, you can add filth and decadence to your urban scenes. Piles of litter, papers, and other types of rubbish can be easily scattered around the ground, in order to improve the realism of your project. Also, if you want to enhance the atmosphere of abandonment of some scenes. The seventh group provides a variety of graffiti, ready to be applied over the walls, adding an extra touch of urban decadence. The eighth group provides a collection of different types of manholes, all of them applied to single planes, and also to 64 by 64 subdivided surfaces, with a height map that provides actual 3D displacement. Both planes can be placed on any location of the sidewalks or the streets, enhancing again the realism of your urban projects. Finally, the ninth group includes a big variety of ponds of water. With them, you can simulate the consequence of leaks and splashes, or recreate scenes after the rain. Again, these decals are supplied with several water texture variations, matching the colors previously included in the holes filled with water, so you can mix ponds and holes, showing the same type of water and reflection. All these decals can work in combination. But if they share the same Z position, it can cause flickering artifacts in your renders. To avoid that, just move up a little the selected plane, using the arrows in the Modify Transform Z field. Now, the decals don't share the same Z position, and the flickering is gone. After loading the prop from the Smart Gallery, the iClone's Snap to Object Face feature can help to place the planes in their right position. To do so, activate the feature, and move the plane close to the surface where it has to be placed. Once the plane snaps, you can deactivate the feature, and keep playing with the prop, to find the best place, size, and orientation in the scene. Notice that the props of the pack have different types of planes. The last number in the prop name indicates the number of subdivisions of the plane. So, for props with height maps, the planes have 64 for 64 subdivisions, while for props that are completely flat, without height maps, one single surface is enough to provide the same quality. In any case, the pack supplies additional planes, with different number of subdivisions, as well as the materials that you can apply to them. In this way, you can decide anytime the quality of the props, depending on the kind of project you are working with. Remember that iClone tessellates automatically the props with displacement maps. So, depending on the number of decals, their proximity to the camera, and the complexity of the project, you may want to increase or decrease the tessellation level in some of the decals. Also keep in mind that you can customize the appearance of the props using the Adjust Color tool of the material editor. It allows you to modify the base color map of the prop in order to match the materials used in the surface over it's been applied. Notice that some of the props have the label morphs in their icons. It indicates that they include morphs that can be accessed from the Morph Animation menu option. Using the sliders of this floating window, you can modify the shapes of these props in an endless number of variations, expanding the possibilities of the pack, as one single model can be transformed endless times. The roughness maps of some decals like the puddles provide IBL reflections, meaning that, by default, they reflect the image loaded in the Visual Image Base Lighting field. However, if the prop is a single flat plane, you also can change its shader in the material editor, switching it to Reflection Surface. Then, the prop will have real reflections of the elements included in the project, although after changing the shader, and in order to obtain the best result, you should modify the plane position in some of its material maps, until finally getting the desired effect. When applying graffiti over certain walls, with heavy normal maps, like bricks for example, the graffiti can look flat, as they don't have normal maps. To solve this, just select the wall, and copy its normal map, pasting it in the graffiti normal. If necessary, use the UV settings to adjust the tiling and the offset of the normal map in the graffiti, in order to match the dimensions and the location of the map applied to the wall. You can also play with the opacity map of the graffiti, if you want to obtain different stages of degradation. As always, notice that changing the appearance of the decals is as easy as to modify their texture maps. As you have seen, using decals is very easy, and is a great and effortless method to improve your scenes, adding details that otherwise will be very tedious and complicated to include. They are flexible, and can be adapted to different scenes, as their location, size and orientation can be easily modified, matching the needs of any project.